to ShopTalk CLE, Cleveland Literacy Efforts, and I am Shawn Literacy. Here today with me is my co-host, Dr. Lisa McGuthry, and we're picking up from where we left off last week. I'm with our guest, St. James, speaking about adult literacy, speaking about learning to read as an adult. Here in Cleveland, statistics say 66% of adults functioning illiterate, meaning they can't read the RTA bus schedule, they can't fill out a job or a rental application. Here at Our Favorite Things Boutique, we're putting some small things in place, putting resources together for parents so that they can become stronger readers, making sure that we have books available for children, but also opening up the boutique to be a virtual learning spot for children as well. So welcome, St. James. And I'm really excited to have you back because we felt like last week we kind of got cut short a little bit as you began to share the statistics after you learned how to read, after you got out of jail, and then after you began to become the entrepreneur you are today, but doing it in the right way. So just share some of that with us.
The road. Now, last week we talked about pretty much what it was, where I came from, the struggle of not being able to read, being from one grade to the next, graduating high school, expecting to be successful in a world that you need education to be successful in, for the most part. At least to be able to read. And so after leaving prison, when I learned how to read, of course, it came directly a result of my relationship with God. Me meeting God in prison was the pivotal turning point of my entire life, because now it had a solid foundation to stand on. Most people, if you believe in something, it'll work for you. You know, I don't care if it's the light in the ceiling, that you believe that light has the power to help you change your life, because it's not really the light. It's the fact that you believe that the light has the power to do it.
Yes.
So it'll work. But my personal relationship with God is absolutely absolute, because it's not a feeling. It's a relationship. It's something that I tried. I've communicated with Him, and He communicated back through thought, through ideas. So my relationship with God allowed me to realize, because He gives you a manuscript of what life should be, and that's in the Bible. If you're not reading the Bible, you're cheating yourself. A lot of these self-help books that's out here that tell you how to help yourself has quotes directly from the Bible. But because people don't read the Bible, they don't realize that these quotes are coming directly from the Bible. So that's the foundation. I was lost without it. That's my foundation. Without God in my life, truly in my life, I was lost, completely clueless to life. So after the relationship with God, I realized that if God is the most powerful being without a beginning, created everything, and nothing is destructive, bad, because when He said after creation, everything is good, including me.
That's right.
He created me, and as well as everybody else. So I'm looking, and I can remember a time when I said, well, God, why you make me dumb? Because I was seeing people making honors and going to college, and at that particular time, I didn't believe that I had the ability to go to college.
Wow.
But after relationship with God, after learning how to read, I absolutely knew I had the ability to go to college. After my relationship with God. So most people say they have a relationship, and they know Bible, but they refuse to apply Bible. The Bible is absolutely no good to you if you don't apply it. In order to make a cake, you're going to need 3 eggs, some flour, some butter, you know what I'm saying, some vanilla. You're going to need all these ingredients, and you're going to have to mix them up and put them in the oven. If you skip one thing, it's going to look like a cake.
Oh wait, that is so...
It might even smell like a cake.
That's absolutely true. So it's your roadmap. So if you don't utilize that roadmap and you don't have an intimate relationship with God, it's useless. So you can listen and to what people tell you, but if you don't pick up that word for yourself and get it for yourself, You're absolutely
It's
right.
no good.
It's no good to
It's
you.
no good for you.
Because people can tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that. People can tell you anything, but you have to seek it for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to seek it for yourself. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and it comes right back to reading.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get your son to start reading at 2.5, 3 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Because we applied it. The 9 months that I was, well, he didn't even make it 9 months. The 7.5 months I carried him, I listened to music. I put the headphones on my stomach. I let him listen to ebooks. I read to him. When he started the gobble, 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 I finished those sentences with words. When he started with words, we played sight word match, and I labeled everything in the house. From sight word match, I ordered the beginning scholastic books. Okay, and they have 3 words on the page. I like pizza, I like cookies, I like donuts. They really read the pictures, and they learn 2 new words. But what I'm saying is the application of it. Remember what I told y'all, children need care, consistent and repetitive efforts. And with that care, I have parents that say sometimes their child can't read, and then I just ask them, do you allow them to read 15 to 20 minutes a day? Oh, I can't get them to read. We have to take back over parenting. Just like he said, if you believe in the light, it's not necessarily that you believe in the light, but you believe. You see what I mean? So we have to pour back in our children where they have a love for reading again, where they have a love for education. We don't always have to make that a chore. I remember last week's lesson, he said that the teacher told him James tries really hard, but he just can't get it. We also have to be careful what we allow people to pour into our children's ear gates, what we allow to pour into our eye gates, and really take back over parenting. As a parent, I know you can't be of all and everything and at every place, but when you install those morals and those values and those characters, one thing I always tell my son, especially when we see homeless people, that doesn't mean that they're not educated. That doesn't mean that they're not bright. Somewhere they had a choice, and that choice didn't work out great for them. So aligning them up on a path to be able to make great choices. Allowing them, everybody's path is not the same, especially like we say, literacy in the hood, helping out our disenfranchised. One of the reasons why we have a learning pie here, we have free books and free snacks here, is because we seen a need. And then with the free snacks, we knew they were hungry than snacks. So we said, okay, well, when they're here, we're going to give them a hot meal too. Okay, now, how much y'all get paid for that? We don't get no money. We're not saying one day they might not figure it out and find it, but it was the love in her heart as a boutique owner. And it was me looking for a location during COVID-19 to make sure that parents, children, and caregivers still have access to free books. Now, I know you were talking about your location, and you were talking about maybe over the winter months, pouring into some of the families in your community. Why is that important to you?
It's a gift, first of all. Everything that I'm made of is of God. And what I mean by that is my life totally is geared around pleasing God. You know what I'm saying? That's my focus, is how can I please God? And God says in his word, love others like you love yourself. And I come from a deprived neighborhood. I come from the bottom. I had to get everything I got out the mud. We should not be this far behind. But we this far behind because we wouldn't put in position to be ahead. So we started in the back. And I don't want the next generation who comes after me have to start from where I started at. So with every struggle that I went through, with every tear that I cried, with every hardship, the moments and difficulties that I did in life, I want to take that and pour it in those who are willing, and that's the key word. Those who are willing. You can't make somebody come sit in front of you and expect for them to receive what you got. Now you got the willingly want to be it. Because before I wanted to change, I wouldn't change. Before I understood change, I couldn't change. I had to realize, come to the understanding of what I was doing was wrong. And when I see what I was doing wrong, because we got our thinking is messed up because our teaching was messed up. Product of environment is what you see is what you become. Everything that I saw, I had to relearn because I had to condition myself that was the wrong way. My mentors was drug dealers, street people, like people in the streets. So I learned a lot of the stuff that I learned, and it's valuable, but it still was toxic. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So I had to rethink it and come to a conclusion of this is not who I want to be. You know what I'm saying? But again, it wasn't until I heard God speak to my heart and begin to speak to my mind, and I was able to see things clear.
We're going to go to a break. When we come from the break, Lisa and I are going to talk about some ways how you can get involved here at the boutique. We're going to talk about some ways how you can get involved right in your community. And then we're going to share some statistics with you for children in testing scores. Stay tuned. ShopTalk CLE. Welcome back to ShopTalk CLE, Cleveland Literacy Efforts. I am Shawn Literacy, my co-host Dr. Lisa McGuthry, and our guest today, St. James Singleton. Right before break, I really just want to share some Cleveland statistics with you. One of the reasons why we have virtual learning here in the boutique is 2 out of 3 CMSD students don't have any books at home, period. So what we wanted to do is allow children, parents, and caregivers to come to the boutique while the boutique is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 6 and pick out free books. In your community, there's some bird boxes that looks like little, well, they're bird boxes, but what they're called are little free libraries. At those little free libraries, you are allowed to take books, and then what you can do is clean out your cupboard, clean out the kids' room, clean out your garage, clean out your bookshelf at home, and start funneling some of those books back into the community. Since Lisa and I opened up here and allowing the children to come get, a lot of authors have been dropping off their books here at the boutique. But Lisa, I just wanted you to share with our guests why, when I reached out to you, why was it important for the boutique to be a place where parents and children can come?
For me, it was a need in the community, a need that needed to be filled. I had access to an area where I could utilize it for good, and that's what I do. I'm a socialpreneur. I'm not just an entrepreneur. When there is a need in the community, I'm going to step up, and I'm going to, love is an action word. That's my whole thing. You can't talk about it, you gotta show it. And the principles that Our Favorite Things Boutique is built upon is Matthew 25 verse 40. And this is what we do here. This is, what you do for me, you do for the least of them. So I can't be in a community and see a need and not step up and help out with that need. It's just not, that's something I'm gonna do.
And if we can have, just more people that thought about it like that, because so often they ask Lisa and I, do you guys get paid for that? But if you can see the smiles on the children, the parents, and the grandparents' faces when they're shopping in the boutique, and then we let them know that they can go in the back and they can have free books, that's the part that's amazing. That's the part that keeps you warm. That's the part that keeps you smiling. Mr. St. James, you said that you wanted to be able to be in a position where you can show young men and young teenagers skills and different skill sets. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
One of the things that I would like from my heart is to be able to pour back. I believe everything that we are made of should be deposited in somebody else. We hear in the church where it says they was laying hands on each other. What I consist of laying hands is me laying my hands and pouring everything that's inside of me inside of your life.
That's right. That's right.
So if I know how to do electrical, plumbing, drywall, framing, if I know how to do business, if I know how to do whatever it is, it's my responsibility and it's my job to influence everybody that's under my influence. So with that said, I want to teach the importance of credit. I want to teach how to become a successful entrepreneur. And most people don't realize becoming an entrepreneur does not take money up front. It takes the ability to believe that you can be a successful entrepreneur. Because once you believe that you can become something, then the resources show themselves. Most people don't understand that I spend faith, not money. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right. That's right.
My faith is what produces everything, because God says it's impossible to please me without faith. Once you realize that, then you'll use what you got. If you cook, you don't need a restaurant to cook. You got a stove in your house, you got some skillets, and you start there.
That's right.
If you do hair, you don't need a hair salon. You got a chair, you got some combs, you do it there. And most people want to say, well, I need to build, I need this. You don't want it. So to become successful is, first of all, but knowing that I can become successful without having what I need all up front. So, all this is stuff that I stepped through life in. This is not something that I just talked about. It's something that I done tried and it has been proven and it been tested. And I'm doing it, I'm producing. What hurts me is I have an event center, and every weekend these parents come and they spending $400 for 5 hours. But yet they won't bring their kids to a free program where I can teach them how to do electrical, plumbing, drywall, framing. And I'm looking like, well, how are our priorities this messed up? And I just don't understand it, because if you don't invest in your kids, they're in trouble. And every one of our kids is not college material. I'm sorry to say so. They're not just college material. Some of them are trade material.
Right.
Some of them don't have the attention span to go to college for 4 years and sit in the classroom and do paperwork. Some of them, let's just be real, are not smart enough because they didn't have the tools that they needed. They didn't have the training that they needed. They didn't have the extra love and the care. Not that they couldn't do it. It's just that nobody took that extra time that they needed. Some of us needed extra time. Some of them needed a bigger hug.
You know, that was something that my nephew, he graduated with honors, but his mom didn't have the background for him to go away to school. But he had an aunt and an uncle that believed in him. I asked him, I said, give me 1 semester at school. I promise you, because my brother passed away. It's my brother's son. I said, I won't let you fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
My nephew graduated from college last year in 4 years.
Yeah.
And now he's back at graduate school.
Okay.
But had I not, he didn't have that mindset. That he graduated. Now, mind you, he graduated with honors, but he didn't think he could go away to college because he didn't think anyone was going to back him or believed in him. Now, had I just said, okay, I'm going to get mine, and just my daughter, because they're the exact same age, they're 4 months apart, but we had 3 graduates from college this year. But it took me believing in him that he could do anything. And he came right from 105 in Hawthorne. But all I saw was my nephew, and I didn't want him on 105 in Hawthorne. I poured into him.
Yeah.
And he had someone that believed in him to help him to do that.
You know what's so amazing? Because we think of college as being an institution that you go to because that's what was embedded into us.
Nope.
But do you understand that I can have college when I'm with the right person?
That's right.
If you teaching me what you learned,
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
I might not have the certificate, but if I have the knowledge, I don't need the certificate.
That's right.
I don't have, listen, the most I got is a high school diploma. And I'm probably more successful than anybody that got a doctor's degree.
That's right.
And I'm not stopping there. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of limit ourselves because of our thinking. I can't stress how thinking is important. Our thinking is the foundation of where you go in life.
Now, if they want to reach out to you for the programs you run or for the event center, how can someone reach you?
Listen, it's so personal to me. You got my personal telephone number, 216-773-3922. That's my personal information.
He said that's his personal number. You can reach out to St. James, 773-3922. 216-773-3922. You can find us at literacyinthehood.com. Literacy in the Hood on both Facebook as well as Twitter. And then we have Dr. Lisa McGuthry. Tell them how they can find you.
You can reach us at 1-800-975-0731 or follow us on Facebook at Our Favorite Things Boutique and Event Centers, or on Instagram at Our Favorite Things CLE. And if you need a place to bring your child so that child is not left at home alone, please bring them to us at Our Favorite Things Boutique. We have a teacher here that will help them with their virtual learning, and we don't want any child left at home alone.
See you next week. ShopTalk CLE, Cleveland Literacy Efforts. Thanks for tuning in this week. I love y'all. Thank y'all.